Who's to blame? Accountability online. What is a data breach? A data breach is a privacy violation where unauthorized people are able to gain access to other users' private information. This private information can include names, emails, passwords, social security numbers, credit cards, and the like. These kinds of leaks range from losing a password all the way to identity theft. How do companies get breached? Companies can be breached by a plethora of different situations and scenarios, but the main two are a lack of security and phishing. Lacking adequate security measures can lead to companies having their data accessible to people with bad intentions. These lack of security measures allow for hackers to break into the databases holding all of the information. These hackers steal the information and then use it for profit. Phishing is another way companies get breached. Phishing is a way that hackers and scammers socially engineer others into getting what they want. This is commonly done by emails, and these can contain hardware that allow the sender to access the recipient's device. Breaching a company's data allows for these individuals to extract data for monetary gain while simultaneously exposing the privacy of others. The ethical dilemma. Are companies responsible for the data lost in a breach? Case study. The Equifax data breach was a case back in 2017 where this credit reporting company accidentally breached the private information of 147 million people. The results of this were unauthorized transactions on credit cards, identity theft, and other financial inconveniences. Identifying the situation. The first thought would be to identify how much was lost to the stakeholders of the situation. These stakeholders of the situation would be the customers, the company, and the hackers. The customers were hung out to dry, losing their private information and money. The company got loads of bad publicity for this and most likely lost loads of customers as well. Then there are the hackers who exposed the data and made money. Since the hackers aren't really able to be held accountable, they are not impacted stakeholders. This leaves us with a few possible solutions. The company could pay everyone back that was negatively affected. They could apologize but not feel obligated to reimburse the users. Or they could take each lawsuit from the users individually. Act utilitarian approach. Analyzing this under the act utilitarian approach, possible ethical solutions become clearer. The act utilitarian approach, the scenario with the most overall upside, is the way to go. This would mean that the best course of action would be for the company to follow through with the class action or take on each lawsuit from the users. This will be done by the company repaying anyone who is negatively affected by the unauthorized charges or identity theft. Under this approach, more people would benefit if the company paid back everyone who was negatively affected rather than those who took matters into their own hands. This would be seen as ethically sound because the people affected will be getting compensated for their losses, thus increasing the net good. This means the best solution for the company under the act utilitarian approach would be to follow through with the class action suit because it would benefit the most people. On the other hand, if we were to view this question under the Kantian perspective, we would see similar results. If the company who lost the data was not to pay back those affected by their mistake, that would totally go against the moral code that Kantianism promotes. This means that again, the two solutions are for the company to pay everybody back with a class action or individual suits. Being able to take each individual person to court would allow the company to analyze the situation of each user more in depth and accurately repay them. Therefore, the most ethical solution under the Kantian perspective is for the company to right its wrongs one-on-one with the users who are affected. In conclusion, the only ethical solution for the company who is breached is to attempt to right their wrongs in some ways. This is supported by both ethical perspectives, showing that the right thing to do is to try and correct the lives of those they have disadvantaged, One perspective supports a class action suit, and the other supports taking each court case one-on-one. The perspective that most accurately fits the issue is the act utilitarian approach because of how many users were impacted in the initial breach. Finally, the most ethical solution for the company who lost the data is to pay back users in a class action suit. And thank you. Here are my sources. Boom. Thank you for watching.